was looking at these places, imagining Jesus walking down, back and forth to the Sea of Galilee, has determined that would have been the main path where Jesus walked. So I want to tell you that everywhere we're walking somewhere, we'll be walking holy grounds. And that is one of the beautiful areas that we are definite that Jesus would have walked with the disciples coming back and forth to the Sea of Galilee. I'll tell you why in a minute. Looking at the waves, look how wavy. It doesn't feel like it's a lake. It feels like it's a sea. And this is the holiest on the right side. This has been determined as being the ancient town of Magdala.
Oh, wow.
And Jesus rode the boat from different locations to the city and the town of Magdala. Look how huge this area. This was a fisherman town. They're still doing archaeological dig. They have discovered locations for the poor people, for the rich people. How do we determine rich and poor? It's because of the sizes of the houses. How many archaeological sites we have in this country? Countless. You can even, the last group I had, we went to probably 20 archaeological sites. Unbelievable. So some of them, they look kind of the same. Some of the sites completely different. This is one of my favorite places. Look at the beautiful area. Look at the connecting point. Look at this beautiful valley on the right. The path. Because in the past, when I make a joke this morning, we're going to take bus number 11. People traveled on their own, taking a risk going from one place to another place, taking bus, talking to my last group, then they go, that's awesome to know. And then what's awesome to know is what kind of food they ate. Well, very simple. And people were dipping some olive oil with thyme. That's hyssop. We call it za'atar. Olive oil with thyme, piece of bread. That's a meal. People were eating this, and of course we can get some of that from Jericho because they have nice, good size of containers. People did not eat meat every morning. They ate what was available. They were healthier, and they can go long distance, such as Tiberias, located here. And this would have been the path that Jesus would have walked. From where? Up there, Nazareth, coming down, from Nazareth, coming down, because it's on higher elevation. Why I say down? Because we are below sea level here. All the way to the Sea of Galilee. Down there.
This is the Sea of Galilee, and this would have been the area where Christ called the disciples. Right along here, we think these are banana trees now, and the Beatitudes were delivered behind me up the hill.
Observing the Lord, the Jewish tradition, and that means they can make a mikveh and fill up these mikveh with running water, and that's why we are here. Just seeing ruins. By the time
Not on the other side of the road.
no, yeah, there was.
So anyhow, hey, we're heading there. The other.
Here was the location where Jesus also appeared with the disciples in this very place where they were accustomed to fish together, right here, not far from the shores of the Sea of Galilee. Of course, the water would have reached to this point because there would have been more water. And so that is why the church was built on the top, because that is the exact location where Jesus would have stood as they were fishing right there. And when they were fishing, they couldn't catch anything. And they heard the voice saying, throw your nets on the right.
Was the original spot for Peter. And isn't that how you get that?
But particularly here, we are in this area that used to be Syrian. Look at the bunkers on the left side. Those are Syrian bunkers. And we've seen the milk, and now we've seen a beehive, so this is definitely the land of milk and honey in the area of the Golan Heights. One of them is called Kibos. We're gonna come, I'll show you the location of Kibos. Further down is Gadara, also a Greek-Roman city that was built on one of the sources of the rivers in this area. On the left side, the land of the Gentile. Look on the right side. That is where the herd of swine, the pigs, came jumping into the water.
Where?
This is here,
Right here.
the closest point of the cliff that's close to the water.
Oh,
Look here
wow.
down. See that? You can see the water further down. And of course, it was much higher, the water in the past, closer proximity. And we can see a lot of signs with minefields. I don't want people to wander around looking for mines. Because, you know, mines, lots of mines in the area. On left side, you can see one of the sculptures, because Israel being sarcastic about one of the presidents of Syria, as he said, I was fishing up to this point in the Sea of Galilee. Are you with me? Are you with me? Up to this point, this was Syrian land. Further down from the circle, down further to our location of the kibbutz that is known as Ein Gave.
So we need to sit.
Ein, meaning the spring, Ein, E-I-N, Gave. The spring of the sources of springs. That kibbutz that we're going to was established in 1937. One thing that's going to be under the plate.
Look at all those.
So we see a lot of plantations of bananas. That is all part of the kibbutz. Are you with me? This is all part of the kibbutz.
Wow.
So once we go down, I'd like still have the whisper table
that?
assignment with
What
the
is
color
that?
of our flag.
Cow.
Oh,
I don't know what color
cows.
it will be. So we have here lots of cows as we are entering into the main kibbutz. Look at that. Nice.
Nice.
Well, the original founders probably around 500, but then they can get higher helping hands, maybe another 500. So 1,000 in total. Left side, those are the houses. In the middle, developing the community. Look at here, they're all down, and let's go down and enjoy.
Here's the boat that we're going on. That takes us on the Sea of Galilee. Sababa!
I hope you guys can hear me. Good morning, America. Awesome. It's not bad, huh? See, just can you believe it? Most of you, I can imagine how you feel, because it's most of you first time being right here in this very place, the Sea of Galilee. So I'm just going to use the microphone. Turn off the whisper.
Turn off the whisper.
What a privilege. What a privilege. What a beautiful view and what a beautiful scenery. I don't want to take too much time. I can stay for hours talking here. But you will stop in the middle part of the sea later to do the most beautiful sea of all seas. This is the sea just around the stone. You can tell why, huh? Hey. I have a big surprise for all of you there. Look at them now. Of this beautiful place, and I'm happy that we are having the wind now, so you can see the strength of this very place. But I want you to remember what took place here in the past, and what took place here with Jesus and the disciples. Now we can see clearly the city of Tiberias. We can see the cliff of Mount Arbel and the corridor. And we can look more to the left side, the high mountains of Upper Galilee. And we talked about Upper Galilee having the high mountains. Straight ahead, where the boat is heading right there, that is Mount Hermon. We were able to place on Mount Hermon in the snow, right there straight. I want you to remember that straight ahead is the location of Caesarea Philippi, and on the right side of the road, the land of the Decapolis. What are the Decapolis cities? I want you to follow me. It's right there. You can look at the flat mountain right there. Okay, that's known as Hippos. Hippos meaning a horse. It looked like a saddleback of a horse. And on the top, there was one of the Decapolis cities. So when the man said to Jesus, I want to go with him, and Jesus said to him, no. He went. The most important part for us of the Sea of Galilee is the ahead. That is the north part where the Mount of Galilee is located, where Tabgha is located, where the promise of Peter is located. And further on today, we're going to go and visit the beautiful town of Hermon.
And straightway Jesus constrained his disciples to get into a ship. Here we are in a ship, and to go before him onto the other side, while he sent the multitudes away. And so the multitudes apparently were right over here, and so he left to go over in this direction. And when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up into a mountain apart to pray. And when the evening was come, he was there alone. But the ship was now in the midst of the sea, tossed with waves, for the wind was contrary. In the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went unto them, walking on the sea. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, It is a spirit. And they cried out for fear. But straightway Jesus spake unto them, saying, Be of good cheer, it is I, be not afraid. But straightway Jesus spake unto them, Be of good cheer. And Peter answered and said, Lord, if it be thou, bid me come unto thee on the water, and he said, come. And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water to go to Jesus. But when he saw the wind boisterous, he was afraid and beginning to sink. He cried, saying, Lord, save me. And immediately Jesus stretched forth his hand and caught him, and said unto him, O thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt? And when they were come into the ship, the wind ceased. Then they that were in the ship came and worshipped him, saying, Of a truth thou art the Son of God. Isn't it interesting to be right here and read that scripture and to think that here was a multitude and Jesus went there and then he walked back out to see his disciples. It really makes, I think, a marvelous experience to be able to see the place that actually happened. I want to take a moment just to say how much we appreciate your coming on this trip. I know it's something that we've been looking forward to for a long time. And just realizing what a special trip this was going to be for us. And so just really appreciate your coming.
I'm going to give you a prize. I'm going to remember that. This is pomegranate. Wait, pomegranate. You know, pomegranate. That's incredible. Flower.
Mike. Mike. Get him to talk into his microphone.
Can you hear me? Turn your head. Okay, when I I'm looking for the one that's not right. I'm going to give you a prize. As it was exactly 2,000 years ago. Built on the local stone. Very simple, very simple. And we see the rooms as they were 2,000 years ago. So when this was excavated at the beginning of the 20th century, they have marked exactly what they have found in relation to that. You can go further than in that particular spot. So it's marked with numbers. And as when we did the excavation, everything is still standing as is. Now this is a very important thing for us to understand. First of all, that this house has many rooms. Because in the past they were not able to build one floor on the top of the other. So what they did, they added on more rooms. There was a separation between one house to another house. You see more houses over there? In between this house and that house where the tree is located right there, that is a street. And where these columns are located here, the foundation of the modern church, that was a street. And where we have the palm tree growing over there, that was another street. So one house was separated from the other house. And how did they know that? Because when they took off the floor of the 6th century church, they found one thing in common. First of all, graffiti on the wall. Second, they found circle is located. They find oil lamps, and that's what we call the Holy Circle. How do you know that? We have found graffiti with the name. Look at the rail here. Peter. Also with the name of Peter on the wall.
This is the synagogue that sits on top of the synagogue that we believe was here when Jesus hung around Capernaum. This synagogue dates back to the 3rd, I think he said 3rd or 4th century.
Then the ancient road, and then the upside down. Alright? So I'm going to have some talk. You guys can go. I want you to face the wall.
We were born right here in the Sea of Galilee. Our father was a fisherman, so naturally we spent all our time in the water.
Yuvi and Moishele are brothers, born in Genosar. Both are amateur archaeologists.
We had dreams that one day we'd find a treasure in the Sea of Galilee. I told Moshe, one day the Sea of Galilee will give us a gift. You'll see. It'll give us a gift.
And that day has come true. While walking on the seashore after a drought year, they found an old nail.
An ancient nail, then another. We cleaned it a bit. We discovered wood. We looked again and realized it's a boat. We moved along the wood. It was almost a 10-meter long boat.
We felt we found a great discovery at an international level. Among the experts invited were marine archaeologist Shelley Waxman and his assistant Kurt.
We knew immediately this is an ancient boat. We didn't know how old it was, but we knew that it was ancient.
They touched it with a chisel once, and you saw 2 dancers up in the air.
Yeah, we did a little dance, and we're very excited.
A crazy race against time and odds started.
As soon as we started excavating it, we were in a sense destroying it. We were opening it up to the air, and the air was its enemy.
My first job as a conservator was to make sure the wood didn't dry out. It's waterlogged wood. The minute it dries out, it turns to powder. We had to use sprinklers, and people had to spray water on it all day long. An awning was built for shade.
The digging around such an ancient and big object required special care.
While we were digging, it became clear that we couldn't use tools near the wood. We had to use our bare hands. As the wood was so soft and spongy, our fingers just went right through it. Then it was time to decide how to move the boat. Experts from the port of Haifa arrived, engineers.
We went to the Air Force, the Navy, the port authorities, the airplane, the LF.
The Air Force offered us a helicopter.
At the end, it was Warner who came up with the idea of how to actually move the boat.
The solution found was to fill up and wrap the boat with polyurethane with fast-drying plastic foam. That's how we filled it up from the inside, but how do you fill it up from below? It's filled with mud, and if you remove the sand, it will fall over.
We solved that by digging channels the width of a person underneath the boat.
After digging the channels under the boat, they were filled with foam.
You spray the polyurethane, it expands and settles, and another channel can be made right away.
At the end, the entire boat was covered with polyurethane, and yet it was still not clear how to move it to dry land.
The most logical thing to do was to simply sail it on the Sea of Galilee, and then lift it out with a crane and place it on land.
We brought up the steam shovel, we dug a channel from the pit to the water, and we sailed the boat out. For the first time in 2,000 years, it was sailing on the waters of the Sea of Galilee.
And then the boat slowly began to come up. Everyone was so excited they had tears in their eyes. To sail in a 2,000-year-old boat is simply incredible. following day, when the crane came to pull it out of the water, there was one very dangerous moment. One wrong move.
Going up to a higher location that is going to the area, still in the Galilee. We're going to the area of Nazareth, and then we're proceeding further more west. We're going from east to west. So many things to see on the way, and I hope you all stay happy, because I'm going to give you a prize. Happy, happy, happy 3 times. Why? Because we're going up to a higher elevation, meaning it's a little bit more cooler, huh? You will notice the difference between being in the Sea of Galilee, it's just perfect weather in the Sea of Galilee, and then going up a little bit cooler because we'll be above sea level, huh? But I hope we stay happy. Okay, Janice, I hope we stay happy. Even above sea level, you know, even though there is less oxygen, that's okay. We will manage, huh? But it's gonna be, oh my God, look on the left side, the mountains of the Golan Heights. It's so pretty looking through the buildings.
I can't see it.
In the horizon. Remember that also from different areas of the country we'll be looking at the mountains of Jordan and many other things. It's a beautiful country to explore. I'm always thrilled to see people still coming back. You know, the first journey when they came, and they, you know, been coming for the next 5 years. And for the you know, they've been coming for the last 5 years, and for the next hopefully 5 years they will come more. But you know, you see them coming almost every year, coming back. And so, you know, I hope you will come back and explore more of this beautiful country. You can go. I enjoy being with her, and she enjoys being with me. We're good companions, you know. And so, most of the time I like to go to Jericho because it does have perfect weather. It's like the Palm Springs of this country. It's like Palm Springs in America. It's a winter resort mostly. But everywhere you go in this country, you fall in love. Look at those beautiful houses. Some of them are nice. This is a beautiful neighborhood, and this is my favorite valley here. Looking at this valley. This is on the other side of the way that we went to. The corridor is all the way more to the right. You can see where actually the fog is coming out, the mist. That is the corridor over there. This is not Nazareth on the left, but actually the high-rise building. That's part of the extension of modern Nazareth. This is a different town, so you come. Yeah, it's over the hill. You can't see it. That's the whole point. You cannot see Nazareth. It's just secret place hidden somewhere right there that nobody knew about. That's why Nathaniel said, "Can anything good come out of Nazareth?" Hey, we don't have sight. You see that building square? That's the Crusader building that was built on Sepphoris. But that Sepphoris is an amazing city. Chicago, I went to Sears Tower. It was early in the morning before I had some coffee. Oh my God, it's violent. And so I looked out of the Sears Tower and I said, "Oh, what ocean is that?" I didn't know what I was looking at. I said, "What ocean?" And there was a guy next to me from Australia, from Taiwan, because I don't know. Honest to God. And they were looking at the diagram and it says, Lake Michigan. I said, "No, I wasn't." Please, before I let you go down, there is a path over there. You see it? It's right, paved path. So we don't make the bus dirty as much as we can. Don't get close to the water. You know, those waves can pull you in. It can be dangerous. We want you to go down and take pictures. There is actually 2 aqueducts. Once you go under the arch, you will see a split point. One was done by Herod the Great, and the one on the right further in, the one on the left here.
2,000 years old, an aqueduct?
I don't think so.
Yeah, well, mine fell off.
Janice, you keep... Bill, can you explain how an aqueduct worked?
Yes, it works by the law of gravity. It's that the water goes downhill. We knew that. So if you look up there, that's uphill, and this is downhill.
I think you've got it. Mary, you buy that explanation?
Oh, sounds good to me.
Very good. So far, so good, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes the rest of the group back from the Mediterranean Sea. And
Absolutely fantastic.
it sounds like you're really having a good time.
Yes, very nice.
Excellent. I'm sure we'll go eventually. And then over here, some sort of ruins. Oh, I think this is one of those amphitheaters where they used to kill people.
It's a wow. Bringing this all the way from a different location, but it's just beautiful and awesome to see all these marble sculptures right here in Caesarea, telling us that this was such a Roman city and such a rich city, and became the capital for almost 600 years of the country. And we'll know why it's so significant to be here in Caesarea. Behind us exactly, right here in this very place, is actually the Roman theater. Wow. So we're going to see a Roman theater, and Beth is going to lead us into singing. What do you think, Beth? It doesn't matter, just sing anything. And of course, seeing all the sculptures with no heads, because you know, even when the Muslims came afterwards, they disfigured, took off. They didn't believe with any images, and so they disfigured many of the heads. Because even this city, from the Roman period, it continued flourishing during the Byzantine period, and it became a very important Christian city here on the Mediterranean Sea. Similar to Akko. Remember, the Crusaders were here as well afterwards. So many of the sculptures are remnants of the Roman era. After Herod the Great, it expanded more and more and more.
This is where you came down when you were going to fight.
Placed everything, uplifted everything on arches. So you know, beautiful arches, beautiful scene. It was elevated a little bit higher than what it
Carry. Bill Pennington is going up to the nosebleed seats. The Christensen couple is here. I'm very in love, this couple. A lot of affection shown on this trip. You can tell that they're into each other, and I'm loving that. And down there we see the main battlefield, the arena.
It's just amazing.
This is where the animals and the people that were going to perform had to wait. We think this is original here.
You know, it looks like very secure. Now we are inside the fortified walls of the Roman walls of Herod the Great, and we are seeing everything clearly. The port, the hippodrome as well that was located here, and of course they had Roman streets, very well organized city that was here in the past 2,000 years ago. So the people lived happy, happy, happy. How did they get the water? I'm going to give you a prize. Aqueducts.
This is the well. This thing says they found some skull fragments in here.
Isn't that amazing? It's washed. So this was up the stairs. Before you enter, who works there in the Greek? To the north, we have Akko. When Napoleon Bonaparte came in 1799, he couldn't conquer Akko. He went back to, to Egypt, and then from Egypt back to France. So this was a very important stronghold on this side of the valley that is known as the Jezreel Valley. On the other side, that is another city known as Beit Sha'an. Beit Sha'an reminds us of King Saul and his sons. When they died on the foot of Mount Gilboa, and their bodies were fastened on the walls of Beit Sha'an, till some people from Garash Gilead came and gave them a proper burial. So we have one city there, one city here. It tells you the importance of this beautiful valley. And this was the gateway between the east and the west to the east. And you can see the fertility of this valley. We have beautiful natural springs, many stories to tell you in the Bible. And of course, Jesus would have crossed this valley as he was going back and forth to Samaria. So it's a beautiful thing to look. Remind us of this beautiful location, a stronghold that is known as the Mound of the Ruler. Wow, what a name, the Mound of the Ruler. And if you can see that the city gates were not located to the east, but to the north. So the first trial, you go and fight right there. Then if you need to go and hide, you go back and hide in. The conquerors would have no idea of where the city gates are. That is why they were all situated one on the top of the other. And so King Solomon made it a very strong hold. He knew the importance and the strategic location of this very place. And they used the chariots. They were the tanks of the past. They used chariots throughout. Also, it was mentioned with the great battles that happened in this valley in the book of Judges and many other things. So,
Where are you?
I don't want to jump on top of something.
5,000 years ago when they did this, they put these handrails.
Yeah.
Good safety.
But I bet you could put some.
in the furthest point down there, all the way down, that is actually the Jordan Valley. The Jordan Valley and the mountains of Jordan. Compassion for the widow, because her son was dead. So there in Nain, a great miracle happened. Jesus raised the widow's son from the dead. We have a beautiful church in Nain.
Jesus returned to Galilee in the power of the Spirit, and news about him spread through the whole countryside. He taught in their synagogues, and everyone praised him. He went to Nazareth, where he had been brought up, And on the Sabbath day he went into the synagogue, as was his custom. And he stood up to read. The scroll of the prophet Isaiah was handed to him. Unrolling it, he found the place where it is written, "The Spirit of the Lord is on me, because he has anointed me to preach good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim freedom for the prisoners and recovery of sight for the blind, to release the oppressed, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor." Then he rolled up the scroll, gave it back to the attendant, and sat down. The eyes of everyone in the synagogue were fastened on him, and he began by saying to them, "Today this scripture is fulfilled in your hearing." All spoke well of him and were amazed at the gracious words that came from his lips. "Isn't this Joseph's son?" they asked. Jesus said to them, "Surely you will quote this proverb to me, 'Physician, heal yourself.' Do here in your hometown what we have heard that you did in Capernaum." "I tell you the truth," he continued, "no prophet is accepted in his hometown. I assure you that there were many widows in Israel in Elijah's time, when the sky was shut for 3.5 years, and there was a severe famine throughout the land. Yet Elijah was not sent to any of them, but to a widow in Zarephath, in the region of Sidon. And there were many in Israel with leprosy in the time of Elisha the prophet, yet not one of them was cleansed, only Naaman the Syrian." All the people in the synagogue were furious when they heard this. They got up, drove him out of the town, and took him to the brow of the hill on which the town was built, in order to throw him down the cliff. But he walked right through the crowd and went on his way.
And this is one of the traditional places where the Annunciation happened, where the angel Gabriel came and announced the good news to Mary here while she was withdrawing water from the spring. So welcome to Nazareth. Welcome to this beautiful holy spot. And let's go inside and see the spring of Nazareth together. Let's go inside. And the man Okay.
Yeah, but how is it doing? From here to there.
Because Jesus was born in a
It's
This is Nazareth.
It's hard. It's hard in this country. That's why That's why you find a lot of the young ones. You know, we had some demonstrations against the economy here. You know, in Tel Aviv and many other places. Happened many times.
Did he answer your question?
It goes to the military, it goes to the healthcare, it goes to infrastructure, many things.
You said he did. And was your question in relation to immigration also?
So we're going down from Nazareth and heading through many of the towns. So in relation to architecture, sometimes you find limestones, and it has another name before it, Kfar Kana. So it's the same place, Kana. It's just a matter how they spell it, you know, how you spell it or how you pronounce it. So that it was also similar to the spring in Nazareth, where people hang out, you know, they relax, read a book or something like that. But
I wouldn't figure it out being 3/4.
What is your name?
Elias Matar.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Good to see you.
Welcome. Want to buy?
Maybe when we come.
You're not considered an antique until you're 50 years old.
Look at this. This.
Having the first miracle here, probably it wasn't intentional, but it just happened because Jesus was attending the wedding. Everybody wanted to come and see Jesus. No, jars made from pottery, stone. The one that you've seen there, this was the house of the old church that was built. Later it was installed during the Crusader period. The big question is, how do we know about all the churches? You know, they cannot just come and excavate and say, we're going to find something here. They know.
Have you had a chance to play with it much? I guess not.
No. I've seen regular banners.
Well, I was amazed at the first century stone jars. It puts a new perspective on when you read about the first miracle. You can visualize now what was taking place.
You're not really doing?
Day 3, on the way to Jerusalem, I guess,
Jericho.
and Jericho,
In Bethlehem.
and we have come across. We see a McDonald's. It's not open though. I guess they've got different hours in the States.
we have everything that can be grown all year round. All year round.
You
We
grow
grow
corn
things
in
here.
the summer too?
All year round. All year round we have. Look at the date palm tree. Do you have palm trees in Iowa? Do you have olive trees in Iowa? Okay, I don't want to continue. This is beautiful because this is the meeting point between the Jezreel Valley and the Jordan Valley. That's why that city was built. This is Mount Gilboa on the right side. Mount Gilboa, on the foot of Mount Gilboa, there was a great battle. That is the location where King Saul died as fighting the Philistines. The Philistines. The Philistines were the sea people that came here in the 13th century, coming from the area of Greece, Macedonia, and so they came and established 5 cities here. And this is a beautiful mountain covered with green, and it's located to the northeastern side of Samaria. Further in is Samaria. Wow! Look how beautiful this whole entire area as we are progressing further down. We're still bordering with Jordan on the left side.
Now the Philistines fought against Israel, and the men of Israel fled from before the Philistines and fell down slain upon Mount Gilboa. And the Philistines followed hard upon Saul and upon his sons. And the Philistines slew Jonathan and Abinadab and Malishua and the sons of Saul. And the battle went sore against Saul, and the archers overtook him. And he was greatly distressed by reasons of the archers.
To be, for export purposes, the top quality, of course. And we are planting a lot of many kinds of fruits as well. Sometimes I say, wow, this is delicious. They make a cross between the taste. They're really getting into more of the agriculture. And it's mostly for export to Europe. For example, in Spain, I like to try different things, like the mangoes in Spain. I said, what is that from? He goes, like, from the Philippines. I said, yeah, I paid like €5 for a mango. Euros, we're talking about for 2 pounds, you pay like $35. In England, 25 pounds, that's around $40-50. Here, it is much cheaper. And we passed an onion field now. Oranges. So, it's almost the end season for oranges. No, Jericho is the best oranges in the world. There's a checkpoint here for the first time. It's like a borderline, like, between Canada and the United States, between Mexico and the United States. We're still in the same country. This is an Israeli checkpoint. We're crossing into the West Bank. The West Bank is called the West Bank because the Jordan River is there. Because it's the West Bank of the Jordan River. North, south, east, west. That's why it's called the West Bank. During the Turkish period, the whole country was known as Palestine. Even during the British Mandate period, it was known as Palestine. Till the state of Israel fought in 1948 and then named part of the country as Israel, half of it. And then later in 1967, the whole country became as Israel. Did you guys know that?
Oh yeah.
Prior from 1917 to 1948, all the people of the country lived in peace and harmony. There was I'd like to get my hands on this. I couldn't so far. I can't get this. It's called the Palestinian pound, English pound, and it has 3 languages written on it: English, Hebrew, and Arabic. You know how much it's worth now? Maybe $15,000-20,000. 1 pound, made is a bill. It's a huge bill like that. And the people lived in harmony. It just became an issue about land afterwards. So in the West Bank, look at the area, different. You have Bedouins. This is all part of the West Bank, where Palestinians lived here, Christian and Muslims lived together in different cities. For example, further down we have Jericho. Where are we going to? Bethlehem. Are we clear on that? And the answer is no. Lebanon. Northeast we have Syria. Along this whole area we have the Mediterranean Sea. Okay. We are right now in this area going south, down, all the way to the area of Jericho, the baptismal. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So this is the Jordan River. Goes all the way from the Sea of Galilee to the Dead Sea. Now all of this area is called the West Bank. That is in the close proximity to the area of the Jordan River. That is in the middle section of the country.
West Bank of Jordan.
And all the country was under the jurisdiction of the Turks for 400 years. Turkey, that was known as the Ottoman Empire. And the Ottoman Empire ruled all the country, including many of the Gulf countries, many of the Gulf countries. And so they ruled from 1516 till 1917, the Turks. Now the Turks left this country in with a lot of problems. People were very poor and caused many problems. So the people living in this country in many various parts of the Middle East. 1917 was the successful time when the British tried to get into the country from the south, from the area of Egypt, and that happened in the area of Beersheba. There was a great battle by General Allenby, and he won the war against the Turks. So the Turks left the country and the British stayed. When the British decided to leave, that was the big problem. And there was a war, resulted half of the country from the north to the south became the state of Israel. That is along the Mediterranean, except with one location. That is Gaza Strip, that is located right here. And so Gaza Strip stayed with the Palestinians, and it became like a strip all by itself. That's why it's called Gaza Strip. It's a strip that's away from everything else, from the rest of the connection with the West Bank. The West Bank in the middle section. So in 1967, Israel took over the whole country, and became known as Israel. Now in the purple area, that is the location of the Palestinians living within the purple area. For example, in Bethlehem, in Jericho, and so forth.
Look at those dry riverbeds.
Who watched Hitler murder millions of people, and they were just kind of there and didn't know what to do with it, so they didn't do anything about it. They couldn't stop him. And from my perspective, I think we need to remember that we hear all the American press about all the terrible stuff going on in Israel. But what we hear is the press. We don't hear the whole picture. And that from my perspective, it seems that it is a very peaceful place here. We have a peaceful city in the Baltimore, Maryland, but we have a murder every day. And when you're in the news and you have 30 minutes to cover on television, you have to talk for 30 minutes and you have to think of something to say. And you always have to find, it seems, the most sensational thing that you can share. And I think, in a sense, I don't mean to say that our media is not doing us a service. They're doing what they have to do. But we need to keep a perspective that the Israeli people understand that their main word is shalom. Their main word is peace, and they believe in it. They work hard for it. They want it with all their hearts. And we're here in the middle of all of this, where what we tend to focus on is their minority of people that just happen to be crazy, and we forget the fact that right now we're very safe. That we're surrounded by people that will not hurt us. In fact, will not allow us to be hurt. And so I'm comfortable, and I hope that you can be comfortable. Just remember that point. Thank you.
Look at the goats, oh, left side, and the sheep, and happy, happy, happy. And the farmers, Palestinian farmers, as we're driving by.
What happened to the green hills, Mike?
Huh?
What happened to the...
Oh, I'm gonna give you a prize for noticing that. Disappeared. No more. No more green. You see that? Look at the topography change completely. It's a completely different world right now.
As we get to water here.
No water. They forgot to put some water here. This is all part, by the way, as we're continuing, because we're connecting to the Judean desert. What is the Judean desert? Mountains. Mountains and mountains and mountains. And nothing grows on the Judean desert. That's why it's called a desert. Look at the cave. Oh, mamma mia, how beautiful. A lot of caves and less greenery on it. Completely different topography. And so that is what we can enjoy. Look on the right side, a shepherd. If you see a shepherd, you have to look for the donkey and the shepherd dog. Huh? That means there's a complete herd right here. On the right side, you can see the goats and the sheep together. Oops, the dog is gone. Oh, I hope he will not come back.
Look at this.
Oh, mamma mia.
That could have been bad, Mike. That could have been bad.
Look at the caves. Look at another shepherd over there. The dog is like watching, really careful. Scared me crossing the road. And so, usually you have a donkey. But it's even the animals are different. We don't see cows. We don't see the cowboys here no more. No more horses. The whole it's a horse. Oh, I made a mistake. And a small pony. So people live in these caves. Look here. They put their sheep and the flock inside those caves, and they hide them in there at night, taking good care of the flock. And right here, what a beautiful valley. If you continue through this corridor on the right side, it will take you up all the way to Samaria.
Look at them out.
To Jacob's well, to many beautiful things. What a beautiful connection. And we have rain in the Jordan Valley. That's awesome. It's a beautiful thing to have. And look at the mountains, complete. What happened to the greenery also? Nothing. Even with the rain. It's look at the also on the left side, a shepherd. A lot of happy. They're happy. Because it is mixed, very mixed with lime. And very soft on the top, so the water keeps on sliding down. It doesn't go through and penetrate the soil. It's a completely different area. Nothing grows in this desert. We don't grow here, for example, this is black beans on the right side. We don't grow, for example, olive trees along the Jordan Valley. No olive trees. Palm dates, lots of palm dates, a completely different topography here, huh? But when we go to the area of Jerusalem, lots of olive trees and no palm date trees. It's just the opposite. Yeah, foxes, wild dogs. Just we have animals, but not like bears or lions. We don't have that. Still, so you have to take care of your property. One of the fortresses that's located on the top of this mountain is called Sartaba. Sartaba or Alexandrion. Alexandrion is after Alexander Jannaeus. He was one of the Hasmonean kings. And then fortified again by Herod the Great. So this is one of the fortresses on the top. It's a beautiful, also fortified afterwards by the Crusaders. So we're still driving down, getting closer to the area of Jericho. Are you guys enjoying the drive?
Oh yeah.
Salted fish actually comes from the area of Gaza. We cannot get it anymore. We can get it from the borderline between Gaza and Egypt. That's what we used to get it before. No more. The salt fish, they're specialists in good quality of salt. The best fish to get in the country is not from Jaffa. It's not. Keep them for a whole year. You know, keep and eating from this beets, everything. You know, if in the past they didn't have the products all year round. Nowadays we have fridges. We are spoiled. We have everything we want. In the past, no. You know, everything they dried, and of course it was organic. Now I always look for organic, you know, fresh, nice organic onions, and I make nice salads.
Are they spraying a lot of these things?
Yes, some of them they spray them, yeah. So they do spray a lot of stuff sometimes. So we passed the whole point, as Mill told you. Look at this Bedouin area tribe. Say wow.
Wow.
Isn't that beautiful? And you know, they're living in the caves. Look at the sheep and the goats. Where? In the caves. That's why they call me the caveman. The caves, look at the caves, just to remind us of Shepherd's Field. Beautiful area. So, you know, we see it live, even after 2,000 years, the same style of living. The same style of living. Amazing how, you know, and then each probably family says, that's my cave, that's your cave, you know, dividing the caves in between them, you know what I mean? You know? Imagine the life of the shepherd. It's very nice. You know, it's very relaxing. But it can be expensive. When it's dry season, look at the donkey. The Mercedes. Did you see that? Oh my! And then all the flock, they follow the donkey. They're just used to it. This is, you know, the leader is not the shepherd.
You said that the real estate is free, but it's quite expensive.
Yes, I tell you why. Because when it dries and it's no more green, those people, look at the flock over there in the inner part, all the way inside to the right side. If you look 4 o'clock over there, way in the distance, because it gets dry and then they have to buy food for the animals. That's why the meat gets to be expensive. Now they are happy. We get a lot of milk, goat's milk, cheese in the next few months because of the green. But when it dries, starts drying, you don't get a lot. Now you get a lot next month, a month for a few months. Then it dries in the area of June, July, August, September, you name it, till we have the rainy season and the grass.
Okay.
And on the right side is Jericho.
Where?
We're not visiting Jericho today, tomorrow. Because I'm looking for better weather. Are you with me? I want more sunshine, okay? When it's warm. Isn't that awesome? Look at that. Look how beautiful this whole area. On the right side, the oasis of Jericho. And there's a big and. The mountain that is more to the right side, that is the Mount of Temptation. Right there. Right there. The high mountain that has the antennas to the right side. That's the Mount of Temptation. And that is where Jesus was tempted by the devil 3 times. And inside, in the middle section, we have the cave of the Mount of Temptation. We're going to be standing closer point to this beautiful holy mountain. On the top part, there was a fortress that was built by Herod the Great. Look at the dates and the farming here. It's very nice. So, you know, all more to the right side, that is the Judean desert. And where we're going down, we're going to the baptismal place. To go to Jordan, to be able to just to go to the same place we're going, you have to cross borders, you have to do all of that. Nowadays, we don't have to do that. Just we stay within this beautiful special area. All the churches in this location are dedicated to John the Baptist. So this is the original, traditional, real place of baptismal. Look how many beautiful churches in the area. In the baptismal place that we crossed earlier, a long time ago, an hour and a half ago, no churches. Look at the churches that's been built here from the 4th century onwards. Okay, this is the real deal. Welcome to Qasr al-Yahud. The palace is known as the Palace of the Jews.
It's been flooded.
Lovely morning. My brother. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I don't know the food. We have the whole Jordan in here. Okay, I want all of you to do professional pictures to be taken for all of us.
Sounds great.
Yes, very good.
Better, better. It's a good system. It's a new system now.
Huh?
So the people were very happy. Were very happy. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. I'll eat it before I give it to him. No, just kidding. Abed, feel like one, habibi. Thank you very much. It's amazing, isn't it? And then we're gonna see Bethany soon, sir. And closer to Jerusalem. I want to have a surprise for you. I have a surprise for you, me and Abed. Are you ready for it?
Yeah, ready.
Bethany was only a walking distance from Jerusalem. This is the other side of Mount of Olives. know, Jesus wept over Jerusalem from Mount of Olives. So we're going to see Jerusalem for the first time. And this is exactly the location of Mount Scopus. But once we are out of the tunnel, on the left side will be the Kidron Valley. And then you will see the Golden Dome that is located as a dome of the rock within the walls of Jerusalem. Left of the Kidron Valley will be Mount of Olives. The whole of the old city is on the left side. Welcome, welcome to Jerusalem. Welcome to this holy, beautiful city. The center of the world. So here we are. This is all Judea. Look what you face here. Olive trees. Olive trees all over. Very close to the area where Samuel the prophet was, is on the right side. Nice, huh? Yes. Look at this red house. The pink house, by the way, this is special. Pink stones of Bethlehem. Everything in this country right now, you know, we build things from limestone, but in particular in Jerusalem, everything is built from limestone. No plaster whatsoever. You know? Wow. It doesn't matter the color, but the nicest color is pink. And you can tell that pink is rare. Not all of the houses are really built from pink. Mostly they're built from limestone white. So we have also different qualities of white limestone. Look at that building. Because of the Sabbath. So you've seen some people in our hotel. Sometimes they come on Thursday. On the right side, this is called Mia Sha'arim, meaning the 100 gates. And it's an ultra-Orthodox Jewish area. You can see Hasidic. On the right side, this is the most expensive area in Jerusalem. This is the apartments I was telling you about, several $1 million. The King David Hotel is the building, the brown building. This is where President Obama, when he came, and the cup of coffee at the Royal Plaza was better. But the cake I ate there, I was like really surprised. But I didn't say anything, I'm just telling you. The windmill, this is the area of the windmill. This is the area where outside Jerusalem. So in the daytime they will go there, at night they will go back into the walls. Income, not far from here. So now it's just, we're at the baptismal. That is the area where John the Baptist was born. On the right side. The Judean hills, not the desert. Look at the olive trees. Isn't that sababa? Old, Roman. Look at the trunk. Olive trees as we are approaching closer to Bethlehem. This is one of the churches they found as they were expanding the road, octagonal in shape. Many other celebrations during January. And so, they have most of their products made here in Bethlehem by the people of Bethlehem. And of course each item, depending on the artistic work of that particular, are more famous people than the others. Hannah, which means John. Say hi. Hi.
Yeah. So what is your name?
Yeah.
And how old would you be? How old are you?
20.
20? Yeah. And are you guys good friends? Buddies?
No friends, no.
Just work part.
American Airlines, $2. Only food groceries, $2. I mean.
Christmas Bell restaurant.
Oh my God.
Take a picture.
Hearing him good. Are you quite good?
Why? Because in 614, this church was saved, not destroyed, during the Persian attack. When they attacked the Holy Land, they destroyed all the churches in the Holy Land except the Church of Nativity. Persian 614. Persian, they were not Muslims before Islam. Why? They didn't destroy this church. By chance, when they came to destroy this church, after they destroyed 1,200 churches, they got lazy and tired. No, but they saw at the facade of the church, where is the cross? At the facade of the church, mosaic. And that mosaic saved the church from damage. What kind of mosaic did the Persians see in that time? They saw the mosaic of the three kings, the three wise men. And the three wise men originally, they came from Persia. They recognized their customs, they respect the place. They didn't destroy the church. Then the image of the wise men in the facade of the church saved the church from damage. Do you know the names of the wise men? In tradition, yes. Caspar, Balthasar, and Melchior. Yeah, great. Every year.
Beth Neroff has done a lot of homework,
we have the
ladies and
feast
gentlemen.
of the kings. Melchior, Balthasar, and Caspar. Yes. Okay, gentlemen, please, men. I would like from you a favor. Men only. You have to take the hat off. Woman is okay, no problem. And secondly, watch your head before we're going in. And transfer the case from that side. David's memory, a continuation for the prayer on this side more. But that side, the other side is Catholic.
When Quirinius was governor of Syria, and all went to be registered, each to his own town. And Joseph also went up from Galilee, from the town of Nazareth to Judea, to the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David, to be registered with Mary, his betrothed, who was with child. And while they were there, the time came for her to give birth. And she gave birth to her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in the manger, because there was no place for them in the inn. And in the same region there were shepherds out in the field, keeping watch over their land, and see this transition happening.
И последующие 27 лет жизни Иисуса проходят в Назарете. Иисус также в строго 30 лет. А теперь перейдем к церкви Рождества и к ее истории. Она построена в VI веке, но об этом я расскажу наверху.
American football.
It's not popular here.
It's not.
We're talking about soccer. Soccer is very much
احنا
popular.
بنشوفها بس عنيفة يعني.
Super Bowl? You never watch the Super Bowl?
No, we watch it, but he says that have lots of violence. Like it's very tough sport. So.
بعدين احنا بنحبش العنف يعني مش هذا بس المصارعة أنا بموت عليها.
But he says he likes the wrestling because wrestling it's more or less is acting.
It's fake.
Yeah, it's that's but he likes what happens there.
Every week I watch 3 program for the
wrestling
WWF. Yes, I am very happy when I see this.
To have a service?
To come.
To attend?
In the translation of the Bible. Because of his effort, Christianity spread it all over the countries. And the common language in 4th century was Latin. And he translated the whole Bible to the Latin, to spoken language. You see, that's it. 36 years. And he used to put skull in front of his table, the skull, to speed him up, to finish before he died. Before he dies, imagine that, 36 years. Yes, this great job. Yes, to remind him all the time, one day you will die. You have a great job to finish. It's not the skull of his mother-in-law, anyway. See, there is 3 things: tradition, Bible, and the archaeological people. Now, according to the tradition, the cave, it used to be here, the cave, unbroken chain of Christian, they were coming to that cave, to the cave of Nativity, and venerated the cave of Nativity as the birthplace of Jesus. Until 135. Emperor Hadrian, he don't like the Christian to come to that cave. He built above that cave the temple of a Greek god. He thought all the Christian will forget about the place. But in the other hand, he preserved the place. He marked the spot. Queen Helen, she came, she damaged the temple and she built the first church. And we saw already the floor mosaic from the first church. The first church destroyed, and then Emperor Justinian rebuilt it in 540, and from 540 until today. This is the tradition. We're still following that, the birthplace of Jesus. Now, Bible, Old Testament and the New Testament, both, they said Bethlehem is the birthplace of Jesus. Yes, and the archaeological people, Saint Jerome, beside the Vulgate, he wrote another book about his life, and he said, just behind the cave of Nativity, I did the translation of the Bible. And they found the tomb down here, the tomb of Saint Jerome, and now the body was taken to Italy as a kind of protection for that. Okay.
I am the big boss of the shop.
You own this shop.
Yeah.
You're rich.
Yeah, this is my children.
Yes. Is this your son?
Yes.
You are welcome, sir. Welcome to the Holy Land.
What's it like living here in Palestine, in Jerusalem?
What?
I'm sorry. What's it like living here in Bethlehem?
We love the American people when they come here.
You do?
Yeah.
And how many sons do you have?
I have four boys and one girl.
Are you still married?
Yeah, but they are in USA.
USA?
Yeah.
His
in
children
Michigan.
in USA.
Why do they go there?
They live
Michigan State University.
Michigan State?
Yeah, I sent them there. You know why? You must know why.
They like football.
No, because the American people, good mind.
Yeah.
They have good mind. He want to make his
last year.
You've got a good
last
mind.
year, I am there in Michigan.
He was in Michigan.
And I go to Washington D.C. My daughter working in the Arabia Saudi embassy.
Really?
In Washington.
Wow.
Congratulations to you.
You know, he's a businessman in Bakeline.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, what are you going to do when you grow up, though? What do you want to be?
What I want to be?
What's your dream?
My dream to go to the paradise, and the God accept me. This is my dream, my friend.
Yes. You drink Turkish coffee? Anybody?
It's Muslim. He think it's terrorist.
Right.
The Muslim is not bad people. We love everybody. We believe about Jesus, like how you believe about Jesus. We believe about Musa. He is our messengers. Abraham, we are the sons of Abraham. All understand me?
Isaac and
We are Muslims, my friend. We love everybody.
Yeah.
We respect everybody.
This is
the God is one.
Yes. What do you mean?
But I will say for you something. Who touch your religion, you will be not happy for him. You will don't like him because he touched your religion. Because it's something special. It's in your heart. You understand? Don't touch me. I will don't touch you. I will respect you. Respect me. I will give you all my respect. Before a lot of years in Jerusalem, Muslims, Christian, Jewish live together. No problem. We live here in. You know my. Yes. He's messenger. You know what I believe? 3 messengers. They complete each other. Moses, Jesus, Muhammad, they say the same. You know what is the difference between the Islam and the Christian? I will say for you what. The Christian, Jesus come, he said, love, don't kill, don't shut, don't do.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
The Islam the same, but the difference, what? The Islam come and he have some rules. These rules, if someone kill you, in this rule you can kill him, but you must to do these rules. How the religion, this is, but all is the same, complete each other. We love, don't shut, don't do the bad things.
Steal, don't steal.
But they complete each other, and Musa complete Jesus, and Jesus, he didn't die, and he will come back again. You understand me? And we wait him. Here, we wait him. He will come to the Holy Land. Here.
Thank you.
Terraces. Those are terraces. So you know why terraces? Because it's like a mountain. So you make terraces so you can accumulate as much. Look at that. Those are all terraces. And it's very hard to make those terraces. In the old times, they used to carry those stones on donkeys. It was much easier to make. Nowadays, nobody's using the old-fashioned system. And so, you know, we are losing those biblical terraces. Look down to the left side. Who was a shepherd? Jesus was a shepherd.
Yes, he was.
David was a shepherd. I was a shepherd.
I thought Jesus
Nothing
was a
like
carpenter.
being a shepherd. It's awesome. And let's go that way. And so, here we are in Shepherd's Field. It's such a beautiful area. We're going to go to one of the traditional caves here. So, you know, usually when probably you went to the Church of the Nativity, that most of you did not feel that it was probably a cave, because, you know, usually you have many people, you have a lot of plaster around the walls. Today probably you had the advantage of taking your time, but usually
you just have just to see and move where the Star of Bethlehem is located. But when you come here to Shepherd's Field, you get the vibes of how where the caves were, how the people lived in caves, and the cave was actually a home, okay? And how the animals lived together with the people. And we will see here in one of the traditional places.
So what do you have in a cave? You have to have a system. It's a house. This is how the people are connected, from one cave to another cave, and then a whole complex of caves in around the corner as well. But we are allowed to visit only this particular place. All these are mangers, and you can just chisel because it's soft chalk. You know, it's not hard. And we have discovered many caves also in the premises of the Franciscan Church, which is located here. We have more than one tradition when it comes to the area of Shepherd's Field. It was similar to the cave that was here 2,000 years ago when the angels came down to the shepherds and announced the good news to them. And then they went to Bethlehem, the city of David. Bethlehem was always known as the city of David because David was born in Bethlehem, and David lived in these very fields, and David was a shepherd. So when we talk about David killing Goliath, it happened on the other side, as when the Israelites were fighting the Philistines. It was King Saul who was fighting the Philistines. He was the first king, and David was anointed here by Samuel the prophet.
And makes the nations prove the glory of his righteousness and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love.
What? With the world. Sometimes we are changing they sing in their own language together, the same songs, but in the also rain with night. So during Christmas time, very close to December. Skylights. All these are sky windows. You know, in the roof of a cave. You're standing on a bunch of caves here.
We think this is Shepherd's Field. Caves all around us. And then on the lower riverbed, we believe that may be where the shepherds were. Of course, you never know. You never know. Gracelanders going down into the cave. Some may never return.
Yeah. That's a system. You have a system, you have the cave, let's gather in the moment, sir.
Going down the cave now.
That was good work.
Oh, Paul.
I'm all right.
You're trying to film. Don't do that.
Inside the cave, Evelyn did not fall. Her mother did not fall, but I fell.
Here, come over here.
Sitting there. Come over to this metal thing.
My wife is trying to sell the place.
There we go. We did it. And see, there's like a dining room.
Listen to Evelyn. She knows what the rooms were in that.
Dining room.
Yeah, the price is negotiable.
Ooh, and there's something down there.
Michelle, Beth, come here. Come with Beth. Wait, stay there.
Evelyn and her mother
Kitchen's over there, dining room.
in a cave.
This is the living room.
My hair is bedroom.
Of course, this kind of reminds me of our first
Of
apartment.
course, I have 4 pairs too, Mom. And the skylight's up here.
Skylight.
There's the skylight that Evelyn's referring to.
Go up there. It'll go all the way around.
Oh, it will?
Even a better way to get out.
Technically, aren't we standing underneath holy
Go
ground?
out.
Yes, yes.
See, look up. Wow. Do you see that glass that's up there?
Oh, that's the glass he was... My wife was nowhere to help me.
You know you have a hood, Paul.
And that's a good day, ladies and gentlemen. That's a wrap. As we head back to our hotel room, we're tired, but it's a good kind of tired, wouldn't you agree?
Yes, wonderful tired. Yeah, that's...
It gets you around, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
That this whole entire area is known as Mount Zion. Mount Zion was one of the mountains that were included within the walls of the old city of Jerusalem 2,000 years ago. Within Jerusalem, of the old city of that time, when Jesus used to come and visit Jerusalem, we had 3 mountains. And those 3 mountains were encircled with the wall. First of all, the most important mountain for us to know is Mount Moriah. That is where when Abraham brought his son Isaac and was going to sacrifice him on the altar. That was a mountain. Here, where the Dome of the Rock is located, the Golden Dome, that's called Mount Moriah. The second one that we're going to see when we go down, it was known as the stronghold of Zion, the Jebusite city. That is the city that David took over. Remember, I said, when we were in Bethlehem, I said, what was the name of that city that was in Bethlehem? You all told me the city of David. It was known as the city of David. That's why Jesus was born in the city of David. But later, when David wanted to unite the kingdom, he took over the stronghold of Zion that was known as the Jebusite city. That's down there. That's the second one. Here is the third one, which is Zion. They were all encircled with a wall. They were all part of Jerusalem. Jerusalem was a beautiful city. Jerusalem was restored in the time of Herod the Great, especially during the Second Temple period. Are you with me? Because I'm trying to get you to understand what was here. So when Jerusalem was destroyed in 70 AD, nothing stayed as is. Everything has changed. Meaning, in many of the places that we know about, sometimes we learn about places slowly, depending on the excavations and the archaeological diggings. So every day we're learning new things. But as a matter of fact, it is very well known for us in relation to this mountain, that this mountain was included within the walls of 2,000 years ago. So anywhere we were walking on Mount Zion. Even when we looked on Zion Gate, on the inner part of Zion Gate, that was part of Mount Zion because there was no wall. The wall encircled this whole entire area, and so it was open. So that was also part of Mount Zion. And so, here in this very place, we get to believe that it was known as part of the quarters of Jerusalem, known as the Essenian quarter. Who were the Essenes? They were the Dead Sea sect who wrote for us the Dead Sea Scrolls, that is in Qumran. When we go and visit Qumran and Masada, we will see where they lived. But this was their own quarter. They left Jerusalem because they felt that Jerusalem became unclean because of the Roman presence. Many things happened here in Jerusalem. A lot of the corruption happened here in Jerusalem. So that's why they left the area of the Dead Sea. But this was the quarter. One of the proofs to us is that they found an inscription that was known as the Essenian Gate. Second, when Jesus said to the disciples, we need to the scripture in different ways. Jesus said to the disciples, go and follow a man carrying a jar of water, and he would lead you up to the upper room. That's something strange. Probably the disciples were looking at each other, because it was not the job of the men to go and get water from any source of water in Jerusalem. It was the duty of the woman. And here they came to this location and they saw a man carrying a jar of water, and sure enough they asked him and he led them to an upper room. And so that's why we got to believe it was in the Essenian quarter, and it became the old tradition because of the very early church that was built here. And so the tradition is that some of the Essenes were celibate, and they believed in poverty and many other things, and that is why probably Jesus decided to have the Last Supper with the disciples on the feast of the unleavened bread within the Essenian quarter that was part of Jerusalem at that time, the city that he loved. So he came to this area, and in this area he came up to the upper room where he had the Last Supper. So let me tell you something what happened. There was a church that was built in the area on the top of this mountain that dates us to the end of the 4th century. Huge church, basilica. This church was destroyed in 614. And this particular church included the Last Supper room as a tradition. But that's good. That was the end of the 4th century. So the room was in this very area, When it was destroyed, they look at the excavations. Many of the things we know about is from something very simple. It's from something called the Madama map in Jordan, depicting for us all the holy sites. It was here from the 4th century, 5th century, and the Madama map is a mosaico that included everything in the Holy Land, not only in Jerusalem, but in Jerusalem explicitly about all the churches that were here. Otherwise, we had no idea. We had no diagrams. That map located south of Amman of Jordan, and it's very close to Mount Nebo, where Moses looked over the Promised Land. So we know how the church was. We know that it had a square area in relation to the Last Supper. So this place, it was rebuilt by the Crusaders. You can say it's Gothic style, Crusader style. And it was built from the different stones that they found, remnants of the church that was at the beginning known as Hagai Zion, later the Church of the Apostles. Then it was destroyed, and the Crusaders came and researched. And they said that this was the location where the Last Supper was, and this was the Last Supper. Now, the Catholic tradition is just next door. One here, one here. That's, it's almost the same. Now, this very place is with the Department of Religion, meaning all the denominations, they come here to this very place, and this became the only location as a tradition of where the Last Supper took place. And it is known as the Upper Room. So whether it happened here or somewhere close by, it doesn't matter. It happened within the proximity of this place. So putting things into perspective, let us say that this was a place. And the first thing that was done by Jesus that was untraditional, washing the feet of the disciples.